Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special episode of the Sussexsquad podcast for all things Duke and Duchess of Sussex in Morocco. I am Tina, and I'll let my guests introduce themselves.
I'm Nikki.
Hi, I'm Mary.
And welcome, everybody. Welcome. Michelle cannot join us today because, as we mentioned to you last week, there's some family stuff going on, and Michelle really does need some time off to spend time with family. So she is going to be doing that. I'm hoping she can join us tomorrow. I spoke to her earlier. She's doing okay. Everything is fine. I'm sure people are going to message us and say what's going on. She's okay. She's doing fine. Family is fine. We just need to spend time with family. So anyway, I'm going to go through the formalities and then we can get started with today's podcast. Please, guys, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Spotify. And I just noticed that we are on Podbean because I got a random email that people are commenting on Podbean. So for those of you guys who are on Podbean commenting on this podcast, thank you very much. I see your comments. I cannot reply back, but I see it. Thank you very much. And please don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating. And please, 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 please don't forget to review us on iTunes. We really appreciate it. All right, let's go into today's podcast. So today we're just going to be discussing day 2 of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's mini tour to Morocco. They were in the Atlas Mountains today to visit the Asni and Education for All boarding houses. And Meghan took part in a henna ceremony. Then they went to Lycee Qualifiant.
Lycee Qualifiant.
Lycee Qualifiant Grand Atlas in Asni to hear more about education provision in the area, and then talk about the importance of sports in education by watching people play football, which in America we call it soccer, but everyone else in the world, in a normal world, call it football. Harry performed an investiture where he awarded Michael McHugo an MBE, and later they attended a reception at the official residence of the British ambassador in Rabat, where they met with young entrepreneurs, influential women in Morocco, and disabled athletes. So that's the introduction. Let's get into the conversation. Mary, thank you for helping me pronounce that because I'm not good with pronunciation. So I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. I lived in a French country for like 2 years. So I know a little bit. I can get by.
Okay. So a question for you. So can you tell us a little bit about how you got into the whole royal watching? Because we did that with Nikki last night.
Okay. Before, I didn't know about Meghan before she met Harry. I used to follow the boys, but specifically Harry. I'm in America right now, so I used to always hear about him, not so positive things. And I used to like watch him during the Invictus, when he started the Invictus games, specifically when he came to America. They always used to have like news interviews with him and Michelle, and I used to love watching that a lot. Specifically with he and Meghan, when the news came out, I was like, oh, let me look this up. Let me see who this girl is. So there was a link to her Instagram, and I saw the picture, the banana picture. That's the first thing I saw on her Instagram. I'm like, this is interesting. So I was like watching the news, like following them in the periphery, got to learn more about her and the causes that, she had been involved in, including like UN Women and her visits to like Rwanda and her involvement with the UN in general. So I kind of liked the things that she was doing at that time, specifically like with, women empowerment and gender equality. And I watched all her, I used to like watch all her speeches or interviews on YouTube. So I'm like, oh, this girl is amazing. Prince Harry has hit a jackpot here. So I just kept, following Meghan. I've, loved Harry for a long time. And then, with the wedding and everything, I've been like following them throughout. So it's been an amazing ride. And I was mostly on IG and then got involved in Twitter sometimes last year after the wedding. So it's been an amazing ride and happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love the Duchess, and obviously I love Harry. And my little story about Harry, I was in England, when was it? 2003. And I was in London. I was staying in London. I was staying by Kensington because I knew I wanted to. That was my first time in London. And I wanted to stay close to Kensington because for work, I was there for work. And so I told my colleague, I'm like, we're staying in Kensington. So I stayed at the Hilton in Kensington so I can be close to where Princess Diana used to be. And I was hoping that Prince Harry lived close there so I can catch him at a club or something. And because I was like, I bet you he likes some, he likes, like a little bit of coffee in his, like a little bit of, like, I was just like, no, like I think he likes black girls. Like I was just there, like, I want to find him. Obviously I didn't find Prince Harry, and he found the best mate for him because I don't think I'll be the best one for him because I am too out there. And I speak my mind, and I am not refined and cultured like our Duchess.
I know. I used to, when he visited Jamaica, when he was dancing, I'm like, oh, okay.
Girl, I've been known. Oh, yeah, I've seen that. But I've been known that Harry was into, he liked a little bit of coffee in his milk.
Well, remember he had that poster. Yes, of Halle Berry.
Yeah. All right, let's stop lusting after Duchess of Sussex's husband. Because to be honest with you, I mean, like, what was I gonna do with a prince? Like, I'm sorry, my past is too checkered, and I don't have time.
Don't say that.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm just saying that I don't have time to be scrutinized. Like, I'm not made for that life, and I would not be a good duchess of anything because, to be honest with you, like today, okay, so today I saw a picture of no neck right behind Duchess, and I wanted to choke the fucking life out of that motherfucker, but he has no neck. He has no neck. I can't even choke him. Can you imagine?
It's so funny because I'm so protective like that of her as well. Like everyone that talks crap about her, I'm like, I don't want them around her. Like,
get away.
Someone tweeted out today, one of those royal reporters, and said that she has spoke to Meghan, and Meghan replied back, and I just wanted to roll my eyes. I was like, oh, don't talk to her,
Yeah. I know everyone that's around her is like so protective. Even with her friends, you could see they are like placing their hand around her or placing their back around her. Like Meghan is a grown woman, but everybody's like, wanting to protect her. And,
because she's so nice. And
I know.
And she can't speak for herself. The problem is she can't speak for herself. And that's why I'm so protective of her. And that's why I just want to like choke a bitch sometimes. And
calm down.
Okay. All right. Where's Michelle when I need her? All right. I'm going to be calm, guys. This is not typical Tina. I'm just protective of my Duchess. I'm sure you guys are. But I did see a picture of that no neck. Why is he not in Cuba? I thought he wrote a book about the people in Cuba right now. Why is he not in Cuba?
He should definitely be in Cuba.
I mean, I thought she was irrelevant and they're the 16 line. So why? I mean, the future king is in Cuba. Why is he not there? Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me stop. The petty in me is about to go off. So I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna put down my tea, and we're gonna get into today's conversation. So let's talk about today. I want to start first with the ambassador. That guy is my favorite person ever.
I'm gonna miss him. Like once this tour is over, I'm absolutely gonna miss him.
Did you guys?
The most funniest thing, like when he went back, I guess to his residence, he posted about his like suits fighting. So he's gonna go to the reception.
Yeah,
I was sitting there like literally like cracking up and laughing. I'm like, this man is having the most fun out of this whole experience. experience.
He is. Oh my gosh.
And his kids are so cute. Like he mentioned that, you know, he normally don't post his children, but he was like so proud, and you know, it was all so lovely.
And his wife was actually in one of the shots as well when Meghan and Harry saw the two little girls. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And Meghan ran to, like, it's so funny because somebody was saying on Twitter, they were like, Meghan is pregnant and Harry can't even keep up with her because she ran to those kids.
Yeah.
I love how she has a personality. I mean, honestly, she really has a personality. It's not fake. Like, even when she smiles, like, I feel it's so genuine and warm. And just like with her running to the little girls, that was her personality. I have not seen any other royal do that. You know?
Yeah.
And she has done that several times in some of her engagements. Like either, you know, Amy is always on the side, sometimes pointing out the kids, and she just do like a quick run. But this time it was like slow and cute. I'm like, oh, look at the pregnant Meghan running. So she has done that several times. And then also when she first got to meet the students at the Lycée, she could have just like walked off straight, but then she did a slight turn and then spoke to the other girls in the corner. I saw that. I'm like, it's good that...
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's good that, you know, she's always acknowledging people who are not like within the lines of who she like is kind of like maybe required or have seen to like communicate with or shake hands with. She always like looking to her side and, you know, going to other students.
They went to Ireland? Remember when they went to Ireland and they were going out to the reception and they were walking and she spotted a little boy?
Yes. I'm like, she has like visions, you know, her visions are like, you know, really sharp, and she's looking everywhere and acknowledging everyone. Yes.
I wanted to read something, and I hope she doesn't mind. But this girl, I think she's about 15 years old. Her name on IG is Royal Sussex 1984. And she had a picture of, you know, the only picture she had with the Duchess, but she got to meet the Duchess today. Lucky you, first of all. Secondly, she just said, here's the only picture I have with her, and I am the one crying at the end of the picture. But yeah, it was perfect. So first they came in and I started shaking and crying, and Meghan was shaking hands in my line, and Harry the other. And when she got to me, I was crying. She shook my hand and told me hi, and then asked me, are you okay? Because I was crying, I said, yes, I just love you so much. And then she said, oh, thank you. What's your name? I replied, is Sarah. And then she said it, but couldn't pronounce it. And I couldn't pronounce it as well. So I'm sorry. You know, I suck with pronunciation. Anyway, and we both kept repeating it a couple of times. I was correcting her, and she kept trying. And then she asked me about my age. I told her 15. And then she asked me what I wanted to do when I grow up. I said, I don't know. I just want to do something in English. Oh. And she told me, that's amazing. And I congratulated her on baby Sussex, and she thanked me and said, nice to meet you. We said, nice to meet you to each other. And she kept shaking hands, and I started sobbing because she was seriously so gorgeous, barely wearing makeup on. Her freckles were so beautiful. Pictures don't do her justice. She is 100 times more beautiful in person. It was just a dream come true. Oh my God.
I know, that was so cute. And her name, is Isra.
Isra. So. Okay.
Isra. That was like so amazing. And I think she traveled like 7 hours also to get there to go see her.
Wow.
So kudos to her for, you know, taking the time and all that traveling effort.
Well, congratulations, Isra.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I hope you hear this podcast, and I hope you know that we feel the same way that you do, that I don't know what I would do if I saw the Duchess of Sussex. I'd probably faint. And so kudos to you for composing yourself. You may have been crying. I would have been doing more than that. I would be crying and fainting at the same time. So you were more composed than a 30-something-year-old woman. So kudos to you and congratulations for meeting the Duchess. And I hope that you continue your goal of learning and doing something in English. It doesn't have to be English, but just doing something better and learning and growing as a human being, because that's who the Duchess is all about. And I just wanted to read your post because I felt so touched by it. And I hope that the Duchess was able to touch you by her presence. And I know it was just a little bit of time that you met her, but I know that, just being in her presence is such a touchful moment. All right. Let me move on.
That makes me think of what we were discussing earlier, that honestly, I love the Australia tour and it was glamorous. It was awesome. Every day I was, filled with adrenaline, waiting for the pictures and the events. And, I was on a high with the Australia tour. But I really love this tour just a tad bit more because I feel like this brings everything back to Meghan's roots. This reminds me of when she went to Rwanda and she was doing the water project. And I honestly, this really, I just love it. It feels more intimate. It feels more on par with what Harry and Meghan want to do. So for that reason, I really do like this tour a little more. I know it's shorter and I know, we're not going to see them so much, but honestly, I feel like they're with the people and this is really what they want to do. Like this is the projection that they're trying to have for household Sussex. I know, the Cambridges, they have a different agenda, but I feel like this is more in line with the Sussex's agenda and what they want to accomplish in the world.
Yeah. And like you said, go ahead, Mary.
I was just going to expand on that. I was reading a BBC article that came out. It reflects exactly what you said, Vicky. I'm just going to read a quote here that they had in the article. It said, there was no pomp, little ceremony, not too many handshakes. They wanted to meet the teachers and students to encourage them to shine a light on their work. A while ago, a palace aide told me that in 2019, we will start to see Meghan's influence and interest. They could not have been clearer today. Harry and Meghan are determined to do things differently. That was like so amazing and poignant. And we've been told like throughout last year and this year, like Meghan is working to carve, out her role and the impact that she's going to be having with her new title that she have, being the Duchess. And like you said, Vicky, it goes in line with what she had done before in the past, and also what Harry has been, passionate about. They are going, to the grassroots level and trying to help, bring awareness to these causes and issues. It's similar to also what she did with the India trip, where she was helping, girls, kind of remove the stigmatization, because those, sometimes those girls don't have the sanitary things and it prevents them from going to school. So helping, with that little project and providing sanitary pads can allow girls to attend school. Those little things.
Do you guys think the Hub cookbook helped with this Morocco trip?
I think so.
Yes.
I think so. Yeah, I think that was a part of it. And they were specifically asked, they didn't ask any other person in the palace to come out. This was a last minute trip. So they were specifically asked to come on this trip. And I believe that because of the Duchess's and the Duke's relationship with the Grenfell Tower fire people and the cookbook, was seeing that warmth, seeing the way that she took to that and the way that there was no judgment. And obviously Brexit is happening. They knew that they were, there was an article yesterday that I read talking about how they were the diplomatic powerhouse that the royal family has, those two. And so it made sense. And that's why the ambassador is so excited about this, is because she's done so much work. This is not somebody that hasn't done these types of things. Obviously she has a bigger platform to do it, but she's done it with the UN. And she was an actress who, volunteered her time with the US military to, and also did charity stuff. And then she also worked at the US Embassy, so she in Argentina. So she's done all of this types of stuff. It's just that she has a bigger platform to do this. And there's no better person to have as your powerhouse, diplomatic powerhouse, especially in the point where, Brexit is happening and England, the British people are going to have to fend for themselves separate from the European nations. And they need to forge alliances. You need to use your best tool to forge those alliances. And that was part of it. And also the cookbook, I certainly think that was a major part in bringing them here. Because who else in the royal family has interacted with people of either Middle Eastern or Arab or African descent?
I think they have.
Like that.
Go ahead, Mary.
Yeah, I think going back, like I was doing some research, like talking about like people interacting with Middle Eastern. They have, but in the past, but like there was, I don't want to diss them, but it wasn't as impactful as what Meghan, did.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, like the same way, in the same fashion. Yeah. There's only one person in that family. Like there's the whole showing up, shaking hands, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I think Prince Charles probably has in the past, to be honest with you, with Princess Trust and everything. So there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not dissing anybody. This is not a shady moment or whatever. But when you go back and look through the history of time, even with Prince Harry, no one is actually taking time and spent considerable amount of time to the point that when the Duchess shows up to Hub Community Kitchen, there's hugs around, there's kisses around, there's playing around, there's this warmth. Yeah. None of that occurs with anyone else in the royal family, whether or not they've had some type of a relationship in the past. Yeah. So
honestly,
sorry.
Well, I was just wanting to kind of add on to that. I honestly think the way Meghan interacted with the ladies at the Hub Kitchen actually really just set her apart, because she was like, I'm not afraid, because of course with the climate, as you were saying, with Brexit and all of the far right media tabloids, it may be partially, they use that attack against her. This is Meghan's mosque. And she still wasn't afraid to lean into that. I'm pretty sure Meghan knew what criticism could have come from how she was interacting. Not that she did, but the way she embraced them. The way that she embraced them. Like you said, it was hugs, it was kisses, it was genuine. I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to be here. I'm not afraid, to put myself, in the middle of this. Whereas most people, they will go, they pay their respects, because all of them did. All of them went to
every single one of them.
However, she leaned into it and said, I'm going to embrace you. I'm an immigrant to this country. This is not my first home. So I understand how it is to come to another country and not be completely accepted, So I think that helped bond her with the ladies. And I think it sets her interaction apart, because the way she embraced them, like you were saying, Mary, she just didn't shake hands, and she wasn't super formal. She was, I'm happy to be here. I want to be here. And that set her apart, knowing that some of the far right tabloids and, trolls will automatically, attack her for aligning herself, with the people.
Yeah, and the thing is, like Meghan, like even if it's not within official capacity, she's gonna support those women. And even with the book, like it was just like a book to support the kitchen, but that's gonna spill over into the community. It brought back, the feeling that, oh, these people are still here. These people still need support. Like there was like I know there was a musician that was at an award show and called out the prime minister saying, what are you guys doing for this community? It's been like almost a year now, and nothing is being done. So it also brings attention to that, like, oh, let's not forget about these people. They are still here. And I know another royal, like another senior royal, had gone there, and the people were like crying, hugging him, and they promised to say, oh, we will come back, but I didn't see any follow-up from that visit. That's why, you know, Meghan embracing the women and the women embracing her and bringing this project, you know, to fruition. It just like, you know, just brought that issue to the forefront as well as supporting the community at large. So it was a big deal. Like when it was announced, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
The
so
whole day I was amazed about.
Speaking of the cookbook, you know, I want to kind of tie your question into a bow. So I do think that the cookbook probably had a part to play in it. And they've been really successful with the cookbook. And speaking of the cookbook, I do have 6 cookbook to give away to listeners of the podcast. I am going to think of a really good way to send it to you guys where, you know, we can come up with a way. So just keep that in mind, guys, that I have 6 cookbooks. Okay, I bought like 20 copies of the cookbooks, okay? I bought 20 copies. Everyone got a cookbook for Christmas, okay?
Yes,
and everyone loved
I did the same thing. I bought like 4. I didn't go completely nuts. I got my friends that I knew like to cook, but I got 4.
Yeah, I am completely insane, and I am proud of my insaneness. And so, yeah, I bought over 20 copies.
You on.
Yes. So I do have 6 copies left that I want to be able to give to. I would hope that people who are part of the Sussexsquad don't need a cookbook. But if you're listening to this and you're not a part of the Sussexsquad, or you're joining, or you're coming from the Beehive and you want to know what the hype is all about this book, I'll come up with a way that you can win a book, and there will be a test, and you got to pass it, and you can win a book. And that the test is you don't know the Duchess that well, but I'll come up with a way, just so you know, next podcast or after the tour, the podcast, the first podcast after the tour will be when I will announce the giveaway. All right. All right. So let's go back into. If you guys hear bottles in the background, I drink a lot of bottled, a lot of sparkling water, and there's a lot of them sitting on my table. So I'm sorry, guys. All right, let's go back to the ambassador. So the ambassador had his suits fighting for the reception tonight, and I guess the gray one won. So
he's adorable.
I love him. I absolutely love that guy. I actually want him, you know, when the Sussexes get their office, I hope that he, you know, quits his job as an ambassador and just works for them.
Well, speaking of adorable, the henna tattoo today. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I wanted to get to that. Let's go in order. So the first engagement was they went to see that all girls boarding house, the Education for All, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they went to see them, and our beautiful Duchess was speaking French to certain people there, and I thought it was so amazing. And then from there, so they met all these people. That's where they met Royal Sussex, 1984 or 82, I can't remember. That's where they met her. But then they had a henna party. So go ahead, Nikki.
Oh, I just thought it was so cute because did you guys see the picture with Harry looking at it? Like, okay, honestly, I can't even deal with their cuteness. I mean, honestly, like he was totally impressed by, you know, the henna artwork, and I just thought it was a really great moment. It was a great moment. But I wish I was doing it. We get to actually touch the Duchess's hand for like, I don't know how long it takes to do, but I would have been so nervous.
Yeah. The henna tattoo that she got, like, that's like one of the, you know, those are like the simple types. The other ones, have you seen the Indian people do?
Yes.
It takes like hours. I've had one done. It takes hours and hours. But I also love that wherever they are going, like people are always bestowing their blessings and luck on Meghan. Remember when she went to New Zealand and the Maori people gave her the cape? to protect her. And this henna also symbolized them wishing her luck and giving her blessings, with her pregnancy. I thought that was like a lovely touch to have with the occasion. But Harry was all for it. He was just like smiling. I just think he's just happy to be close to the Duchess.
Yeah. He's always so supportive of her. Yeah. Like, honestly, I read a tweet today said, is it just me, but it looks like, is Harry hotter or is Meghan standing beside him, making him hotter? I'm paraphrasing, but it was something to that effect. I'm like, you know what? He's glowing too. He has the pregnancy glow too, because he's just, I'm telling you, for a lot of people to want to say he always looks so unhappy, or he, his engagements without her, he looks more happy. I've never seen such a sad guy look the way Harry was looking today. I mean, honestly.
That guy is basking in happiness, okay? He was just happy and smiling and looking, and their interactions, it's always like gold and dynamite.
In the word of our Duchess, he's well fed.
Yes. I'm so happy those women got that. Did you see that on People's Princess? One of her videos. It was like hilarious. He's well fed, okay? She made that known that, he's well taken care of. And her friend said that as well. So he's eating good.
Yeah, he's eating good. She cooks for him every day, and and it's pretty cool. So they did go to Education for All. Is a boarding house, and a lot of the girls stay there so that they can be closer to schools, because if they can't, how do I explain this? I'm trying to explain it. Like, they are from rural areas, so that's why they stay closer to school, so that they can continue their education. And as you guys know, education is a big thing for the Duchess. She's always advocated for that, especially for girls, for young girls, because she knows. And there was a quote, and I'm trying to find it because I had it all saved, but I have so much stuff saved, I can't find anything. There's a quote by who wrote this? TV Fanatic. TV Fanatic had it. And she also, I want to say, TV Fanatic, thank you for our podcast on Friday was because of you. She gave us a suggestion to kind of cover, where is it? Why can I find, you know who TV Fanatic is, right? Yeah. So she gave us the idea to cover the Duchess, like the shower stuff, so that we don't include it with the travel stuff. But I think TV Fanatic was the one who posted this about the Duchess. There was a thing that the Duchess said about education in girls, and I can't seem to find it right now, but
there was one that I saw from Meghanpedia's page. It says to break the cycle of poverty and achieve economic growth and sustainability in developing countries, young women need access to education. When we empower girls' hunger for education, we cultivate women who are emboldened to effect change within their communities.
Yeah.
So she's been involved in this for a long time. As I was telling you guys before, like, I'm from, the west of Africa. So education.
Same as me.
Okay. So education of girls, I'm speaking from like personal experience and with the women that I've spoken to in my life, like the elders in my life. It's really important because there are many barriers that women face to getting education, whether it's like financial or cultural. Because some women that are in my life, like when they were younger, they were taken out of school and were like groomed for marriage. So some of these communities as well, without having like the financial stability to provide education for the young girls, that might make the girls susceptible to those kind of things where they have like, they have to go into marriages or be forced into marriages that they don't want, and kind of like not have that kind of life that they envision for themselves. So that's why, I was really drawn to the Duchess even early on before the marriage. And that's why these causes and the things that they highlight is so important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they went to that engagement. They did the henna ceremony, and then they went to. You got to pronounce it for me.
Which
Lycée.
Lycée Qualifiant.
Yeah, Lycée Qualifiant. So they went
or you
there.
can call it Lycée Grand Atlas. I think they
Okay,
were saying that.
Okay, Lycée Grand Atlas. They went there, and they also were watching students as they were preparing for their exams, and they also watch the kids or the girls. There were some girls. It's like some really cool pictures of some girls playing football, and also I think my favorite picture of the whole trip so far was actually with Meghan and her head on his shoulder. And I was like, you guys are going to kill me with this cuteness. They look so cute. The height difference and everything just looks so cute. They're so in love. And, you know, we're not, I don't want to go too much into it because everyone's seen all the pictures, but what do you guys think? I mean, I think we talked about it enough. You know, this is something that Harry is really big about, is using sports in the educational environment to kind of, you know, help kids who might be struggling. Oh, by the way, guys, I'm going to warn you, it's really windy here right now. So if you guys hear the wind, it's windy here. So, but yeah, what do you guys think about that whole trip, them watching football and going to the other educational stuff? It seems in line with everything that they're about, education and sports.
Oh yeah, I think it's fantastic. And I think I saw a video or a picture where Meghan was talking to the one little girl. She was defending the goal in the football, as we say in the USA, soccer. And even then, you know, she was interacting, you know, with them. And I think I saw a picture on Twitter, and on the whiteboard in the classroom, it was so simple, but it was so sweet. It said, "Thank you for coming," or I can't find it. I was looking for it. But I thought it was so sweet.
Yeah, it certainly was. Yeah, they had it written on the board, in the backboard, and then they even posted it on their Twitter pages saying thank you for coming. Yeah.
And they were so like very engaged too. That's one thing I also love about them. Whenever they're doing something, they're so engaged and active with the people around that are participating. They were communicating with the young men, and as Vicky said, the young girl. It was just lovely all around. And it seems like they also have fun. That's another thing I like about them. It's like they're not just standing around. They're having like fun, smiling, laughing, participating. It was lovely.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was truly a beautiful engagement. I love, because that's that whole engagement, the education, the sports, the women, you know, the little girl stuff. That is all Harry and Meghan. That is what they're about. That's who they are. That's what Meghan has been always about before she was a royal. So it was good to highlight that. At the end of that, I think they were walking back to leave, and they saw these two girls. One was 5 and one was 2. And Meghan, we talked about it earlier. Meghan ran to them and talked to them. Their mother, I think, is a British Moroccan or British woman, and their father's Moroccan, so they're British Moroccan kids. And so she talked to them for a little bit. It was cute because she always gravitates towards the kids. So it was nice.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? All right. So let's go. You know, I was reading earlier and I saw that the Kensington Palace actually paid to airlift all the press and feed them. So they're so mean to them, but they're so nice. Like, these people are so mean to these principals, but yet these principals are so nice to them.
And I wonder what the complaining photographer is going to say about that. There's this one particular photographer who loves to complain about everything. I hope he puts this on his Twitter.
Oh, he's not going to say that. I mean, because it doesn't fit their narrative. But Yeah, so I saw that they did pay for them to eat in a really nice place and also got them back and forth to where they needed to be. Yeah. So let's move on. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just like the whole thing like just bothers me. It's like isn't there like a principle where they can, check them and say, you guys like report what you have to report, but they have gone on they have gone off the rails, making all kind of innuendos. I'm like, who is watching these people and making sure that because they're being harmful, basically. They're not doing their job. They're going beyond their job and making assumptions and all kind of like narrative that has nothing to do with the work that they have been assigned to do. It's just they have made this whole experience so crazy and bitter and harmful for people. It's like, who is checking these people? Like, I would like to know like how they're checked to be coming on tour with these people, and they're provided with all these privileges, and then next week they'll go on TV again and start saying all kind of crazy stuff.
Not next week, like tonight they will go back. I have that coming up.
I'm being hopeful.
No, I have that coming up already, so we might as well just I don't know who checks them. I think it doesn't matter. They're going to do what they're going to do, because that good stories doesn't sell, and their narrative, it makes them look bad. As you guys know, in our 2 podcasts ago, we talked about the fact that one reporter basically wrote a false story, and that made them look bad, so.
Well, they don't have any shame. Like, honestly, I've seen one particular royal reporter go on Australian TV and get busted in the middle of it, and yet forge on, and I'm like, seriously? Like, you're going to stick to this narrative. They have a narrative and they refuse to budge. And I don't know if it's because, Meghan already had built-in fans, or we're coming and we're giving them pushback, or is it is it their pride? Like, I go back and forth, because a lot of times I'm like, it seems personal that, but then is it your pride, or is it just, that we keep calling them out? So now they are.
No, it's not us. It's not the fans. It is, it all started when they started their narrative November. I think the relationship got out October 31st of 2016. And November 8th, Harry had that letter sent out. They didn't like that, because it called them out for their racism. It called them out for their abuses. It called them out for who they were. They didn't like that. And they've been fighting against that letter. And so when Meghan did come on to engage, they never gave them accesses, and they still will not. So that's what they're doing. They're trying to get access. That's why one of them went on and wrote a whole thing saying that, if you give us access, we will maybe write better stories about you. So they're trying to blackmail them into accesses.
Yep, I agree with you, Tina. I think the whole thing, now they expect them to open the doors and for them to have access to them to, I don't know, to like mooch off of them, basically. But then now, like Harry and Meghan, like they are smart people. They are adults. They are not going to do that. And Harry like has learned from past experiences. I don't want to mention specifically, but like they know what goes on when they allow these people come into their lives. Like whenever like they don't do what they want, they're gonna like try to hurt them more than they like blackmail, basically. Like, okay, give me this, I give you, and then give me more, and then if I don't give you anymore, then it's like I'm gonna do whatever to tarnish you to get access.
Well, this is just a little sidebar, but I want to give a shout out to Jessica Mulroney, because she does things in a very subtle way. But we know, we know, the Sussexsquad know. And congratulations on getting picked up for another year with GMA. Bravo to you, Jessica.
Yay! And in your face, Daily Fail. In your face. Fuck you guys. Sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. Like they tried to like literally get against her and her employment by claiming they had a fake source to say all the stuff. It was a lie, and they were trying to get her fired.
And shall I say, Meghan and her, all her friends and all the people behind her supporting her, like, they are super smart. Like, what the UK whatever don't realize, like, she's been a part of Hollywood, which is kind of similar in toughness with the royal family or whatever press they get. Like, she's savvy. Like, she knows how these things work. So,
well, she's just a hard worker. She has, like you said, she's dealt with rejection, but she also had to, book, go to auditions, and she had to do a lot of stuff herself, even when it comes to like her website. She did partner with someone, but she's been in so many different business ventures, and she knows PR herself, and she's college educated, and she's actually using her degree.
Come on now.
So what they failed to realize too, she's really dainty, and yes, she's really soft-spoken, but she's from LA, okay? Meaning she is tough. I mean, even a lot of people like to disregard her acting career, but just to get any roles is hard and it's tough. So, she may not have been on the big screen or whatever, but I feel like if Meghan gave her some time, she could have definitely got there, but she was into a lot of different things. She didn't put her eggs in one basket, and her dream and her heart was always for diplomatic things anyway. So this was her path. This was destined for her. So that's why she probably didn't blow up bigger with her acting, because I feel her destiny was in what she's doing right now with the royal family. So.
Yeah. The girl is prepared in every aspect. I had a saying on my Twitter, like, out and about in New York or America and lay low in the UK. Some people didn't like that. I'm like, well, when she come here, she's gonna be free. She's gonna go out. The U.S. press and media, they're gonna get all the juicy details and juicy story. When she goes over there, it's laying low and staying down. That's what it's gonna be. And I think when they started talking about the money issue, it had more to do with, she came to the U.S. and had her
of
party,
course.
and then the U.S. press had all the info and all the nice stories, and they couldn't get that. I'm like, well, it's your fault. You started this. They're gonna end up failing anyway. So it's a failing battle that they're doing. It's not gonna work. Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next. So Harry, sorry guys. So Harry did an investiture. He awarded Michael McHugo an MBE for. He was the one who started the Education for All. Then is the person. So what was so cool, because like as they were doing all the speeches, Harry and Meghan were sitting right next to each other, and Meghan looked down, and then she looked up again. And then I went back and looked at the video. I'm like, oh my God, baby Sussex is just going off.
Yes. She always does this breathing thing, like.
Okay, guys. We're all on record here. Team boy or team girl?
You guys already know I'm team. You guys already heard me call the baby a boy, so you already know.
I think it's a boy too. I honestly think it is.
I was so team girl. Like my daughter, like since the wedding, she's been like, seeing me watch Meghan. She's been obsessed with her too. So one day, like she was looking at one of her pictures. She's like, "Oh, mommy, you think she's gonna have a boy?" I'm like, and you know how they say like children, like speak the truth or whatever. I'm like, "Do you think it's a boy?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, I wanted a girl, but a healthy baby is,
Yes, of course,
healthy."
Because baby Sussex is so active. Like he's like, "I'm here."
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I think it's a boy just because it's
I've always pictured a girl, so I'm gonna be shook if it's a boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I mean, seeing Harry with a little girl will be so cool.
That's why I want a girl.
Yeah, it would be so cool.
Yeah.
All right, so they did the investiture, which was pretty cool, and then we had a break. The good thing as well. And then obviously they went to lunch, and that's when they paid for the paparazzi. I call them paparazzi. I don't even call them friends. They paid for those people to eat and flew them back. Whatever. And then there was a reception at the ambassador's house tonight, and oh my God. I was actually okay. So I've been busy the last few days and working, trying to record this podcast, make sure that we get it up and out as soon as possible. So I've been busy, but I finally left the house today, went for a facial. And so while the lady's like putting the facial stuff on my face, I'm touching Twitter, and then I see my Duchess, and I was like, oh my God! And the lady's like, what happened? She thought because I was doing like I'm such a tool. I was doing like an acid exfoliation. So she thought that it stung me, but it wasn't. So it's a lactic acid. It's not supposed to sting you or anything. And I'm like, oh my God. And she thought like, what happened? What are you feeling? I'm like, oh, look at Megan's. She said, who? I'm like,
wow.
And she was just like, oh my God. And then I started telling her all about the Duchess. And next thing you know, we're listening to the podcast and all this stuff. But it was so funny because I was just like, oh my God, she looks like a goddess. She looks so divine. She looks royal. She looks everything in this Dior. Okay, let me stop fangirling. You guys go.
Well, I just want to put on record that she looks beautiful, but she had her trusty earrings that I believe has been
she's
on
worn it
tour with her.
6 times. She's worn it 6 different times. She wore it the day before her wedding. When they were in the car, when they captured her in the car, remember?
Yes, yeah.
And then she wore it September 5th. That was the first time I actually thought that she was pregnant because she had that blue dress on that had the weird ruffle thing in the front of it.
Oh, yeah.
And then she wore it during the tour twice. And she also wore it when she went on a very first solo engagement, the one where that one reporter started, they close your car door gate.
Oh, the Oceana Museum.
Yeah, and then she also wore it when they went. Remember when she was they went to the theater or something. She had that black and white, like the black sequence. Yes. She wore it there too. So this is now at least the 6th time that she's worn that same earring. But of course, there is already what they call that, paparazzi or like a bin liner company. There's already said Meghan dazzled in jewel encrusted cream caftan and 7,000 pounds earrings as she joins Harry for British ambassador reception, as she calls on women to challenge everywhere in feminist speech. She didn't make a speech, by the way, guys. So and she's worn those earrings so many times that they're still counting how much it is, but they don't count other people's stuff. And so if you're listening to this podcast the first time, why do we have this podcast? That's why. Because we can tell you how many times she's worn those earrings. It's not first. And for those blogs who go out there and tally how much she spends on clothing, do better. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
You guys can go.
No, exactly. I mean, she looked divine. And I think, did she speak French again when she was doing the rosemary hand washing? So she, again, was being culturally sensitive and, just everything about her. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I really, really love the dress. Like you were saying, it shows like some cultural, sensitivity. It's called, they call it jilbab.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a long, loose-fitting garment, like that mostly. Even they have like the men versions as well. But I love the color I love the details in the hands, and like it kind of looked like a diamond kind of encrusted sleeves that kind of matches the earring. And Meghan's makeup is always, very minimal. Like you barely notice that she has makeup on. She looks like really divine and lovely. Can we give a shout out to Harry too?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. His glow up is
so amazing too. I was like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, he does look amazing. He definitely looks amazing. I mean, Harry, man, I tell you.
Yeah.
And the Duchess, she looks so comfortable. I really like that. I bet this was probably her favorite look out of a lot of looks because she could just breathe.
Yes. I know. Like women wear this, like sometimes, like when they have the Eid celebrations, they wear stuff like this. Like you can sit and not worry about, having, being squished or being uncomfortable. It looks very like comfortable, like flowing, and the shoes matching and the purse.
And I love her hair pulled back. I love her hair pulled back. I was reading, well, no, I didn't read it, but there was an article that I saw, and it was like, why does Duchess, well, they don't call her Duchess, why does Meghan always pull her hair back or in a bun? And, Catherine always has it down. I didn't even click on it because I was like, I don't even want to play these games, because we're not going to, attack her hair or try to figure out about her hair. Like, people get it together. But I just want to say that she looks great with her hair pulled back. I remember when she was talking about Suits and how the directors and the show writer always wanted her hair down. And she said in one episode, it was pulled up and he never wanted it to be, he always wanted Rachel to have her hair down. This is Meghan, guys. This is who she, she's just this person. She's not Rachel Zane, so, and she looks regal with her hair pulled back. So anytime she has a bun, I'm here for it.
yes. I agree with you. Like, I love her hair in every fashion she wants to do it, but I like when you remember when she had the ponytail in the Australian tour as well? Like, it just shows like her features, her face. And even in the British Fashion Award, when she had that, I was like, oh, it's so lovely. I liked her hair pulled back as well.
Yeah, me too. I mean, yeah, she looks amazing. I mean, wow, I was stunned. And the reception, they were able to, obviously, the two little girls who gave her flowers, they were the ambassador's children, and they picked those flowers from the compound that day, which, if you know Harry and Meghan, they are into sustainable stuff like that. And so that was pretty cool, I thought. And the ambassador was so excited about it. It's like, I don't usually post pictures of my children, but they did so well. I thought I love them. I'm like, can they just keep posting about them after the tour?
Oh, and then one detail somebody brought up on Twitter when I was checking the hashtags, like her bag has like a bee on it. And somebody was posting like the beehive sign. I was like, oh yes,
that was her way of saying thank you, Beyonce. Thank you.
Oh my God.
It was a nice touch. She just looked like, like they just look like they just came from like a blissful, I don't know what kind of world you might call it. They just look radiant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, they look amazing. And that purse, that bag that she has, the Dior, everything was Dior. I don't know about the shoes, but I think everything else was Dior, except obviously the earrings. But she has that Dior, I think, in navy blue, the same one. I think she's carried it once before, not that same purse, but the other one. So I think I'm hoping, I know, I'm just gonna say it's a nod to us in a beehive, that because we're now Meghive or Mayhive. There's a whole article in the Times about about the Meghan supporters out there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't read that one yet. I'm so amazed that we have like different names: Megbots, Megalators.
That was chief investigator was the one who called us bots.
I know, and then I'm so happy like how everyone just owned it and we're just like partying.
Oh, that one thread! Remember that one thread?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, wasn't it the funniest? Here.
What I love is when Professor Maynard gets in on the.
Oh my goodness!
When he gets in on the jokes, that's like, oh God.
Yeah.
I do want to say, Meghan, they say, you're like the company that you keep. And, she surrounds herself with all strong and positive women,
accomplished women too.
Accomplished, but, is strong, in their own way, Jessica, Serena, Amal, but even trickle down to her fan base. We are some of the most intelligent, like the pushback that we give. A lot of time there's no name calling, it's just facts, and we can articulate our point. And I think that what gets under some of the reporters' skin is because we actually we know who she is, but we can also articulate that. So I feel like she has a very smart, savvy fan base, even from, the older ones, like, I'm not sure your ages, but, I'm in my mid 30s and, even to the teens. And I just feel like Meghan has, just that aura where she just put, people that she attracts a certain type of people, compassionate, people that want to actually see the world better and, and that's something to be proud of. So, Meghan, if you're listening, just know that your fan base, we're not just mindless bots. We are actually, we're a good fan base, a good fandom. Some people don't like us because, we come hard with the facts, but if you cannot handle facts, if you have to block people because they are literally showing you receipts.
Yep.
Wow. Imagine how all I can think of when, some people block, some of these professionals block. And I'm not talking about like people who's name calling and, cursing. I can understand that. I wouldn't tolerate that either. However, I mean, to block people that actually they will bring up a receipt, they will ask an articulating question. So if you get so thin-skinned about that, imagine the person that you're doing this to on a daily basis and they're pregnant and, and you're getting, the other sister involved and,
exactly,
all of these other, people to attack her. This is nuts, to have, pseudoscience people coming in, reading body language and handwriting or palace staff members and biographers to say all this negative thing about someone who they haven't even met, so imagine if you can't take an articulate fan base, imagine the person that you're doing this to. What do you think they feel? So,
And it speaks to Meghan's character too. Like if you're a woman enough to be able to be surrounded by so many strong women, like it speaks to your character that you're supportive and you're not, how women can be like bitter and jealous and,
insecure.
envious. Yeah, insecure. Like if these women are, and they met her when she wasn't even like the Duchess and, they were part of her life. It was like, if she's able to do that, it speaks to her character, really. And I'm going to say, like, I give kudos to Meghan because, girl, I was like, at one point, I was so upset. I'm like, oh, my God. She loved her husband. I'm like, I don't think I'll choose this, for my life because this is so too much, especially in pregnancy. Like, if you ask women that have been pregnant, the day to day, can you imagine, like, you have to go to work, you come home, you're tired, like, everything changes about you, your whole body, you're emotional, like, every day is, like, different thing. Imagine having to deal with, like, a whole, like, a whole media camp, like, attacking you, and, people that should be quote-unquote family attacking you, like, friends coming out of the woodworks attacking you. And she has been graceful throughout the entire thing, like doing her job, doing her work and paying attention to what matters and showing that she can be like impactful with everything that she's doing. Like I'm gonna continue having a budget, okay? Because most of the organizations that she has been to, like the 125 and Tomorrow Women,
Yes.
I've donated to those because I'm like, you know what? We need to support this woman.
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, and I'm gonna, this website also, the Education for All, they have a website that people can donate to. If you have money, you can donate to them to support them, because it's like, I want my girl to win. So
Yeah.
even if it's, whatever amount you have, you can donate, because it's like,
well, that reminds me of a quote. I don't know if it was the Pupils magazine or just one of her friends speaking during the wedding. I can't remember who said it, but they said, when Meghan wins, everybody wins. And that's a prime example, when, her shining light on all of these charities, and even, this tour, in Morocco, it brings attention, and people really want to help in whatever small way that, like she said, it's the ripple effect,
Yes.
and I believe, I just want her just to keep going strong, and I hope she just can feel our positive energy, and just know that it's making an impact, that she and Harry, they are making an impact. So I just hope that she knows that,
Yeah. So anyway, I don't want to make this podcast too long. I do want to point out the significance of the henna tattoo that they gave her, because I think that I felt bad, because I felt like maybe we might have brushed over it a little bit, but it was to celebrate her pregnancy, and it's for good luck for her. It seems, and we talked about it a little bit. I think we mentioned the New Zealand, but I just wanted to make sure that we highlight that. And I do agree with everything that Meghan, the people who Meghan is, this whole trip kind of solidifies that. I'm trying to make sure, what do we expect for tomorrow? Let me look it up, because I want to make sure that everyone knows what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. So tomorrow, they're going to be going to the Moroccan Royal Foundation of Equestrian Sports, which equestrian stuff, the Queen loves that. Cooking school, and I think they're going to be cooking from the book, the cookbook. Yeah, and then social entrepreneur event, market, and the gardens. So that's going to be fun tomorrow. Yes. And then they will have a private day on Tuesday in Morocco. So I think they head back on Thursday, but they will have a private day on Tuesday.
I think they also meet with the king tomorrow as well. They will have a private audience with the king of Morocco, Mohammed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All righty. So is there anything else that you ladies want to share with us before we adjourn?
I think that's about it. Kudos to Meghan and Harry. It's been a long
kudos. And they look amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know what we're going to do when they go on maternity leave.
Well, so the plan for the podcast is really focus on a lot of the stuff that, like talk more about who they are. So like go back deeper into like, say, her trip to Rwanda, to India, different things that they've done. So we'll talk about that.
No, I meant us, the fans too.
I know.
Yeah, we're going to be going through withdrawal.
Well, maybe our podcast can help keep you guys company. I don't know. I'm trying to promote the podcast. All right, guys.
Yes, so we can go back on some things that, we need to highlight and speak more on. It will be lovely. They need that time. And question, do you guys think after this trip, like there's gonna be more engagements in March or no?
There may be
March. I think March. I think she's probably gonna start slowing down in April. If she did say her due date was end of April, early May. So I don't know how much more room she has in there, because her tummy looks so big right now. But I think March, we're gonna see her really give it her all in March.
Yeah, because they did say like she wanted to work as much as possible before she go on leave. Well, they have a lot of great things to look forward to, and hopefully Harry will come out.
He will. I mean, like they'll keep working, and then
Frogmore House will, I think they're still working on that. I just want to bring up, she is amazing, because going through home renovations is so stressful. Like that in itself is so stressful. And to be doing home renovations, traveling while pregnant, doing engagements, let me tell you, this is a hard worker.
Yeah, this is why we love this girl. This is why there's a podcast for her. Okay.
Yes.
You know, so this is why we love her. But yeah, she's doing amazing. Are you guys going to try to join us tomorrow?
I would love to.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about it offline.
Yeah, okay. And Tina and Michelle, you guys have been doing a great job with the podcast. It's a
thank you
dream come true for me.
Yes, Michelle, we miss you.
Yeah.
Michelle, I miss Michelle. I told her today, I'm like, I miss you. All right, guys. So that's all we have for today. Don't forget to send us some topics over the next for the podcast, for the next podcast. It is #Sussexsquad podcast. Email us at hello@sussexsquad.com and on Twitter at Sussex Podcast. And also, thanks for joining us for this very, very special episode. We sincerely hope you guys enjoy this very special episode. And don't forget to send letters to Harry and Meghan using the #Sussexsquad letters on the envelope and in the letter. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, Podbean, and Spotify. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes because, guys, it really does matter. It really matters. And anyway, guys, remember, as the Duchess always says, no bad energy. Bye. Bye, everybody.